and that is why I have to work. I cannot believe how much money we spent this year on homeschooling. I'm going to share all of that with you. I've got it all written down. I know I usually make videos for you guys that are more about homeschooling resources, but I was taking a look at my finances, trying to figure out what we're going to do for next year, and I just thought that it would be a good time to share with you what we did this past year, all of the different activities and homeschool classes that my daughter was enrolled in, and how much money we spent. Don't worry, I do still have some resources for you in this video, but I just want to take you through the past school year, what we did with my kids, and what started off in the fall of last year versus where we are now in June of 2023, and what we're going to be doing differently next year. Now, I don't necessarily follow a full school year calendar. We don't really do school at home. I always say I lean more towards unschooling, but we still do teaching. You know, we still have resources, and I want to share with you how those have changed and evolved over this past year. So let's get started. So last June, my oldest daughter was 8, and if she was in school, she would have been starting 3rd grade. My twins were only 2, they turned 3 in November, so still wasn't doing any formal school of any type with them. I did try to enroll the twins in a gymnastics class last September. My daughter, my twin daughter, absolutely loved it. She went with the teacher the first second we got there. My son, on the other hand, hid behind me and said, I don't like that teacher, I don't like gymnastics, and so he did not take gymnastics this past year. But anyway, so most of this that I'm going to share with you pertains to my older daughter, who is going to be 9 in July. And I just want to say to all the homeschooling parents out there who are now seeing the summer come, whether you're continuing your curriculum through the summer or whether you're taking a break, let me tell you, for me, just the fact that a lot of the classes that my daughter takes do follow a school year calendar. I personally am so excited for the summer break just for my own sake, because driving and planning the schedule for all the different activities was getting a little overwhelming. So that's why I'm really happy to have this break, to have this time to figure out what we're going to do next year, and maybe not have it be all so hectic and crazy. So back to last September. So all 3 kids I tried to do gymnastics with. It would have been really great if my son had also taken it, because the classes were all at the same time, and I could have used that time to relax a little bit, you know, gotten some work done. But unfortunately, because my son decided not to join gymnastics, I was still stuck with him through the whole class, except the few times that I was lucky enough that he fell asleep on the way there in the car, and then I just waited in the car with him and was able to, you know, get caught up on email and stuff like that. But for the most part, I had to go in and sit with him and keep him occupied for the hour of that gymnastics class. So that's class number 1 that we had in September. The 2 girls were in gymnastics. Then there was dance. I wanted to put my younger kids in the dance class too, although my son probably would never have gone for it, but it was full. We were on the waiting list and never opened up, so only my older daughter did dance. That also started last September. Hold on, what else? And just before I go on, I want to let you know, when you see how much money I spent on all this stuff, it's as shocking to me as it might be to you. We are not wealthy, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of you homeschool parents out there understand that homeschooling in itself is a sacrifice. You know, I did used to work full time. I did work from home. It was easier when I had just the one daughter before the twins came. my husband worked a later shift at the time. We were just able to make it all work. And plus that we have always been more towards the unschooling side of things. So, you know, we weren't pushing this whole like big rigorous curriculum. So we were able to make it work. When the twins came, things changed. It was during COVID. It all changed. So, you know, I'm hopefully now starting to actually see some growth finally on my channel. I've been working at it for years, so it's pretty exciting. But up until recently, we have, you know, been struggling. This makeup I've got on, I got my hair done. I haven't gone to get my hair done in like 2 years. This makeup I've had forever. I only put makeup on when I make these videos. That's pretty much the only time I ever do my hair anymore. I don't buy new clothes. You know, I don't go that many places except for the kids, so I don't really need much. And so we've made it work. We've been able to somehow scrape together the money for our kids to do these activities and for the homeschool classes and materials and things like that. So if you're, you know, not at this level, do not feel bad at all. I'm sure my kids don't need to go to all these activities. I'm sure there's kids that do way more activities than my kids do. My kids might not be doing all of these in the fall because now there's 3 of them that I'm gonna have to pay for, and it's just, everyone homeschools differently. Everyone's homeschool experience is different. So this is just mine. I'm just sharing it with you because you might find it helpful, you might find it interesting, and that's all. So please, if this is not what you can afford, do not feel bad. And if you're spending more than me, or, you know, who knows, if you think I'm doing a terrible job, well, let me know. But anyway, okay, so we're back to September. So also back in September, new school year, mom gets all excited. She decides she's gonna buy a whole homeschool curriculum, which was kind of silly because my daughter has never sat and done a curriculum like that. But I bought the Horizons 3rd grade whole package, and I think with all the like extra manipulatives and everything, that was around $500. So that I spent, plus the gymnastics and the dance. That was in September. So gymnastics, hold on. So gymnastics, that for 2 kids is 5 payments. So there's like 5 sessions, and it's $332.50 a session. That's for the 2 kids. So that came out to $1,662.50. So that's what gymnastics was. Then dance was just the 1 kid, which I'm kind of glad the other class was full. And that is 3 sessions, $160 per session. So that was $480. That's how we started off in September, plus the $500 for the Horizons. Now, that didn't last too long, even though I think the Horizons curriculum is really great. We did use it in the past for their phonics and math in the kindergarten and 1st grade years, but you know, my daughter just isn't one that's gonna sit there and let me teach her a curriculum like that. That just doesn't work. That's part of the reason I've always been more towards the unschooling thing. So we tried it for a little while. And, you know, every once in a while I can pull out a worksheet, but there's no way she's going to follow the curriculum. So, yeah, for us, that was kind of a waste of money. Then came October, and I found a nature class on Fridays at a nature center near us. And they had 5-week sessions. And so that, so a session of that was actually affordable because it was only an hour class on Fridays for $82. There were 3 sessions of that throughout the year, plus a 1-day camp that she went to. So that was $306 for the Friday class. Then, in that Friday class in October, she met one of her now best friends, and that best friend was in an amazing, amazing nature class. And so that class was on Wednesdays, and her parents told me about it, and so sent my daughter to that. That has definitely become her absolute favorite thing. If we had to cancel every other outside activity next year, we would definitely have to keep the nature class. It's called Fit by Nature. If you're in Connecticut. It's an amazing, amazing program. With that homeschool class for the whole year, it ran until just this past week, and that cost me a total of $2,000. I know that sounds like a lot. I can't even believe it because it is so much. But it was a 4-hour class, 1 day a week, where I was able to drop her off and pick her up. So really, it's worth it. And it's absolutely the best program that my daughter's involved in. So if we have to cancel everything else next year, that one we're definitely keeping. As far as the academics, now we're into October, we decided to try some online school. We tried Time for Learning. I think this is around back when I made my Time for Learning video that's on my channel. We reviewed that. And it worked for a while, but the lessons are long and repetitive, and my daughter found it to be babyish, so she couldn't stick with that. That wasn't working. We also tried Adventure Academy. I had a video on that at the time too, and although it was fun, we found that that was more of a game with some learning in it and not really learning. So then we came up with this schedule, a 5-day schedule. My daughter's favorite thing, and as I said, we try to do the unschooling. So her very favorite thing that she's most interested is like nature and animals. So Monday was Animal Day. And on Mondays, we would either read some books about animals, or we would watch like one of those nature shows. Her favorite is Planet Earth, and there's like Planet Earth 2 now. So we would watch those. We would do animal type things. We would read about habitats and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of like science, biology, animal day. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays during the day, there was nothing going on. So that's when we would try to do our like regular math reading kind of thing, either the worksheets, or I would do some printables. I really like Creative Fabrica. I've talked about this before. $2.99 for an entire year, 5 printables a week. Really great for the younger kids. As they start to get older, there aren't as many worksheets and things like that, but for the littler kids, you can find so many. So we would do that. We would print some of those. That would be our Tuesday, Thursday thing. And then Wednesday, she had the nature class. And then Fridays, if she had her Friday nature class, then she would go to that. And if not, we would do field trip day. And that would be, maybe we would go to a library, maybe we'd go to the zoo, maybe we'd go to the playground, maybe we'd go to a museum, whatever. So probably like twice a month we did a field trip type thing like that, like a whole day kind of one. We still try to do that on Fridays. I don't even have the expenses for that, but it's certainly added up. Then in January, actually my daughter had been asking for a while, but in January we finally agreed to start piano lessons. So we have someone that comes to the house, and that is every week on Tuesday. In fact, today I'm trying to get this video finished because it'll be arriving soon, and that is $172 I think a month. And so that's every month, and that's all through summer too. So far between January and June, including June, that has cost $1,032. Now I know whether you're a homeschool family or not, you might have music lessons for your kids, but as a homeschool parent, I feel because we have extra time, you kind of like get pressured into adding all these things. Your kids ask for them, you got the time. It's not like you have to pick and choose because of your schedule. It's really picking and choosing because of how much it costs. So then we had the piano, we had the Wednesday nature class, the Friday nature class, the dance, the gymnastics. But that Tuesday, Thursday math reading thing was just starting to not work out. The piano lessons come with piano practice, and I found that my daughter would not really be practicing unless I sat with her and like we did it together. And so that took up time, and the sitting down and doing of the actual lessons was starting to cause stress for us both. My daughter's just never been real good at sitting still for a lesson, and as my channel has been growing and as I've needed to earn more money, I have been really stressed, and so it was getting really hard to sit and do those lessons twice a week. So a few weeks ago, especially, I've been doing all these reviews, and you know, my daughter's been helping me test out all these different online homeschool programs. So we really liked Me Academy, so we decided for now we're gonna do that. She's doing it every day. We've always done school on the days her dad is at work, so we've not done weekends, and we've not done whenever his days off are. So we're sticking with that. So whatever days dad's at work, she does the daily schedule of Me Academy, which honestly doesn't take that long. I don't think any day she spent more than an hour doing the actual schoolwork. So it's only been a few weeks, but our plan now is to continue that through the end of summer, and then revisit in September what we're gonna do as far as like the school part of homeschooling. But that, the first month's just $1.99, and then I can't remember, I didn't write that one down, but I think after, let's say it's maybe $40 a month, give or take. That's what most of those online homeschool programs run. So that one's not gonna be too bad. We're gonna do that for the rest of June, July, and August, and then we'll see where we're at in September. And then lastly, as far as like the extra stuff, this past month we found out about an online homeschool music lesson program where you can like do the music lessons during the day, which always works for us for homeschooling. So many of these activities are in the evenings because they're not just for homeschoolers, and that's what's like pain, because I would so much rather just take my daughter to them during the day. We got to do it in the evening and work it around dinner and all of that. So this is an online music lesson program that is like catering to homeschoolers, so the lessons are during the day, and it's awesome. And they have a free trial, and my daughter tried it. She tried a voice lesson. She's been asking for voice lessons, and I was hoping she wasn't gonna like it, but she loved it. So now we're gonna have to decide, are we sticking with that? Are we sticking with piano? I don't know. It's $150 a month for just one lesson, and I put the link for you below if you're interested. It was really great. She did really like it. So we're probably going to continue with that at least for this month and see where that goes. So that's where we are now. It's June. Dance has ended. Gymnastics ended this week. Yesterday was the last class. The Fit by Nature class ended last week. We haven't, there haven't been any Friday nature classes since April. There's still piano. Probably gonna do the voice online and the Me Academy. And then in summer, there's a nature summer camp for 1 week she's doing. There's a dance summer camp for 1 week she's doing. And then there's summer dance lessons. She's doing one class. So the grand total for the 2023 school year, not including the field trips that I don't really know what we spent, up until now, $5,880. And that is why I have to work, and that is why I need time to make these videos and do all of this, because homeschooling has been expensive for us. Now, it doesn't have to be. I think part of the reason it is because I'm such a socially awkward person that I can't really like meet homeschool parents and just like, you know, have that all work out with co-ops and whatever. So I feel like I've got to like pay and take my kid to homeschool classes so she can meet kids and have friends and socialize without me, the mother, having to do any socializing. So that's where we're at. Now, come September, the twins, they'll be 4 in November, so I feel like it's time they're gonna have to do some activities. So maybe they'll both do gymnastics and dance, or I'm gonna have to find, like, there are nature classes for littler kids, but the parent has to go, which is hard because what do I do with my older daughter while we're there? She's gotta be doing something, and I don't think, you know, she can't be in the same class. It's a lot, so I know my daughter really wants to stick with dance. I think we might drop gymnastics. I'm not sure about the piano. Maybe we're gonna do the voice instead. Me Academy, we're gonna at least do for the end of the year, and maybe we're gonna continue it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's very long. I'm not sure if it's a full enough curriculum, but again, that's not what we're doing in my family anyway. I just wanna make sure she like has the basics of money and reading and math and, you know, just that kind of basic stuff. So hopefully that'll be good. Maybe we'll continue that. Maybe we'll go back to mom teaching a couple lessons a week, because I really did like that. I don't know, but that's our plan for now. That's what our year looked like. I will say I didn't realize how hard homeschooling was going to be once there were other kids involved. It was a lot easier with just one. With the twins, I'll probably start doing, you know, the basic preschool type of things that I did with my older daughter. Very basic, you know, just worksheets and stuff, printables from Creative Fabrica kind of thing, while my older daughter is doing more schoolwork type stuff. And I'm going to try to find them some kind of nature class that I can go to. So that's what we're looking like this year. I hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful. Please let me know what your plans are for the summer in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.